My favorite part about this job. Past medical history, psychiatric history. Also regrets due to lower pay, a bit of imposter syndrome. It's just because of the time constraint and our ability to really assess you.
See the light as it shines on the sea. It's blinding. And let me know what's beyond that line. Will I cross that line?
Hey, what's up? Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another day in the life. Today it is February 7th, Wednesday. It's currently 8:55 right now. I am about to start my work day. I actually like to pre-chart. That way when I have downtime during my actual work, I can just relax versus scrambling to input things like cures, essentially checking to make sure there's no substance abuse. I will go ahead and take you through my day as a psychiatric nurse practitioner that sometimes works from home. I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys had inputted. Kimberly Gutierrez said, could you talk about any imposter syndrome you may have experienced after nurse practitioner school or worries about prescribing medication? A lot of the times when you first come out of NP school, it's exactly how you feel coming out of RN school. Usually you do have a bit of imposter syndrome just because this is a whole new field for you. For me, the only background I had in healthcare was as a psychiatric tech, so other than that I really had no experience other than my student clinicals. Imposter syndrome, very real in the beginning. I will preface that a lot of the patients that I deal with are centered around anxiety, depression, as opposed to the whole spectrum, which is more personality disorders, substance abuse, as well as schizophrenia. So my practice is specialized in anxiety and depression, which is, I feel, a little bit more narrow as opposed to some facilities that focus on a broad spectrum. In short, answering your question, I did have a bit of imposter syndrome when I first started. And for those of you who don't know what imposter syndrome is essentially that you don't feel competent enough to be in the place that you are. Definitely, I think it felt very surreal at first. You are a newer provider. It's important to exhibit that confidence. Your patients may not trust you as much because you're not showing that you're competent in your practice. You might know everything about what there is to know about psychotropics, but if you don't sound confident in what you're saying, no one's gonna trust you. So I think my advice on that is essentially putting yourself, hold on, I have to clock in. So my advice to that is really exhibiting that confidence. People may not take you as seriously, and I think for myself, especially because I do look a lot younger and I am 26. In terms of prescribing medications, I would say maybe one patient a week I have of a controlled substance. You need to be very wary about your controlled substance prescriptions, which is why I discontinued my ADHD job. I just felt like very uncomfortable with the practices that company was doing. In addition to that, just keep up with your medication education. I'm actually going to the NP Congress. My dog, and she's driving me nuts. I'm going to the NP conference in San Diego next month, so I'm really excited to do that, and I think it'll be a good way to network as well as expand my knowledge about medication. I also went to a Velity dinner. It was really educational. I could have been expanded a little bit more, but overall it was a really good way to just better understanding of some medication. Also, regrets due to lower pay than anticipated. I don't have any regrets. I think for many people, they might regret it because of the fact that they paid an excess amount for their nurse practitioner school. Personally, for me, I'm going to be really transparent and tell you I got 20% off because I went to the same school as I went for my bachelor's, and because of that I did save a good chunk of change and I was able to pay everything out of pocket, so I don't owe any student loans. Now if I were to owe student loans, I may have a different perspective on this, but overall I think I don't have any regrets. When I had started as an RN, my pay was lower than I anticipated, and that was only because you are a new grad, and to be new and to be trained, you should expect a lower pay. Do you have a mentor? In the state of California, it's required to have a collaborating physician. So we collaborate with a physician that they assign us essentially, and I wouldn't say he's necessarily a mentor, but if I ever have questions, I'm able to go to him. Does PMHNP do a lot of therapeutic talk, or is it more of an assessment and meds? We don't do a lot of therapeutic talk. I think a lot of the times the patients think that it is a therapy session, and because I only have 40 minutes, some practices actually only do 30-minute evals, and they go on and on and on. I'm never going to get to my next question and be able to thoroughly assess them. So no, we don't do as much therapeutic talk as we'd like. We use some therapeutic tools, but we don't necessarily go as in depth as if they were going to a therapy session, which is why I always encourage a lot of my patients to go to either cognitive behavioral therapy. So yes, it's more assessment and medication. If I have like a 20-minute gap, I'll let my patient go over, but for the most part, they really kind of try to push our schedules very tightly to see a lot of patients. So we do need to, don't be offended if we try and shorten your story. It's not because we're trying to cut you off. It's just because of the time constraint and our ability to really assess you. What all do you have to chart? Ooh, you know what, that's a good question, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we chart. This is my template. Every provider has a template they use. Ours just happens to be on a Word document as opposed to like a dot phrase. For me, I do quotes what their story is. Need to put those. We do past medical history, psychiatric history, surgical, medical, and family history, which is, to me, this is a huge indicator of what may or may not work for them, what their diagnosis might be, because psychiatry, it is very heavily genetic. Substance abuse history, that's a huge one also. Social history gets you a good idea. If you actually start here, you'll get a lot of these questions answered. So sometimes I like to start with this. Medication, psychotropic, and just any medical. This is a template for an objective understanding of what they look like, symptoms, etc. PHQ-9 for depression, and then their anxiety. These are our objective scores that we use to see. Oh, was it unblurred? Anyway, these are the objective scores that we use to see if our patients are doing better or worse. Assessment, and then our care plan. I hope that gave you a little bit of a better understanding of essentially what we chart, because we chart a lot. She also asked, do you owe a ton of NP loans? Which I preface, I would not encourage you to pull 6 figures for your master's degree. I highly discourage it because there are a lot of programs out there that can provide you ample resources under 6 figures. I have to go see my patient, but I will talk to you guys later. I have changed my background and I really like it. I really like this whole little setup that I have here, and I think one of my patients is like, wow, it looks actually kind of real. I don't know. I saw them do this. Some other provider was doing this and I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I change my background? Because before it was just blurred and I thought that was really boring and kind of weird looking, but this is a lot better. Doing these initial sessions can be so draining. I finished charting and then I have another patient in a few minutes. My favorite part about this job is that I can see all of I'm currently on my lunch break. I am gonna go make these, and by make I mean warm up, these Brussels sprouts from Costco. I'm also gonna take a ginger shot and then some turmeric to help with my cramps because I'm in pain. I am gonna go ahead and do some chores while I have lunch off. Take out the trash because our recyclables are way full. Yeah, we just have like a lot of chores to do. I'm also gonna throw some laundry in because, oh my god. Oh, I guess she got scared. Stay. You can really get a lot technically done during your break, like if you need to go get gas or something. I did get gas yesterday, so I don't have to do that today. But luckily, it wasn't that long of a drive back home. I think the storms make people want to just work from home. Fortunately, you can't get your colonoscopy from home. Dog, she's so freaking funny. Why is she just sits so funny. She also tore up her poop pad. Before anyone comments, yes, I only wear professional clothes from the top up. My next two patients, I canceled. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna, I don't even know what I'm gonna do actually. I was also talking with our photographer because on February 25th, so not next week but the week after, we're gonna be doing another photo shoot, which I'm really excited about because I obviously have a new ring and we want to capture that. And initially we were just going to do it at the same place. So if you don't know, our photos were taken at the Pasadena City Hall. A lot of them are here, so it's this one and this one, and they're really pretty and I like them a lot. The problem is I don't want to take the same type of photos in the same place. It's a different photographer because we did that photo shoot in, I believe, 2022. I love those photos, but I want to do it somewhere else. So this is the car that I rented, and let me just show you the vision, okay? Because these are some of my inspo photos. Like, obviously it's not a classic car like these, but you can kind of get the gist of it. It's sort of like a vintagey feel. My photographer had sent her these photos and she's like, did you want to do it in a place with lots of palm trees? And I guess that's also a good question to ask because initially we were just going to do the photos downtown. But I think it might be more beneficial if we do it somewhere kind of similar. It'd be really nice if we could find someplace that's not so busy so we don't get anyone in the shot. But I like this background where it has like the mountains and then these trees. I think I really need to scope a place out like that, but I don't know. It kind of looks like Palm Springs to me. We only have an hour for the photo shoot, so there's no real reason why I should be driving an hour and a half to go. Yeah, so if you have any ideas as to where we can shoot, close to the San Gabriel Mountains, so we might just try and look around and find a place that has a lot of palm trees. I had like one follow-up this afternoon and I haven't really been doing much. I also have been reading this book and I'm still like a little bit over halfway. Yeah, I've just been reading this because I have a little bit of downtime. I think I have 2 patients left. It's currently 3:15 p.m. I feel like I basically charted, like I charted at like 6:30 in the morning just so that I was able to go to the gym and then, you know, take little breaks in between my patients. Because I had some cancellations, I didn't technically have to do that. But I just like to be prepared. I don't like to deal with stress. You're sitting on my water bottle, so. Something that I have been trying to implement into my practice, I've been trying to explain to my patients, especially my depression patients, is that a huge component of serotonin production is actually done within our gut. Hence why antidepressants cause things like nausea, because the increase in serotonin. Yeah, so a huge component of our serotonin production is in our gut. The biggest thing that I've changed in what I've been telling my patients is you really need to change your diet. And what I mean by that is eating healthy, nutritious food. Being more cautious of what you can eat can really impact your serotonin production, because by eating, leafy greens, fresh food, a balanced diet, it can really help your depressive symptoms. So if you're eating like crap, you're gonna feel like crap. Okay, so just finished my very last call for the day. I am gonna just finish folding this laundry, and then I'm gonna let Olive roll around. Then she can eat her dinner. Alex is gonna be on his way. I miss when Alex and I would both work from home, because sometimes it's fun that we take the same break times or get to eat lunch together, especially when I'm here by myself. That's why sometimes I like to vlog when I'm alone, because it makes me feel like I'm not just like by myself. So yeah,